All right. Good morning. This is the All About Nothing kind of daily show with me, Mr. Barrett Gruber, and Bill Kimler. Bill Kimler, of course, the host of Black, White, and Blue in the South. You can also follow Bill across all social media at Political Bill SC, and you can follow me at Barrett Gruber. How's it going, Bill?
Oh, it's going just lovely. As you can see today, I am dressed with my corporate sponsors' logos. I'm going to let Nike and Adidas battle it out for control over my body and soul, and I'm doing wonderful.
How much does that pay?
Billions, billions. I'm going to be buying out Doge anytime now.
Okay. All right. Well, I look forward to that change. Yeah, lots of things going on with Doge. I saw that the apparently the Social Security chief was axed after refusing Elon Musk any of the info that they have. So I guess that's how we're playing that game. There is no limit to Elon Musk's power, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I think what gets me, and I've seen this before, is just the propaganda coming out from that agency and from Trump, where massive claims of fraud and abuse are being uncovered. And then within seconds, you find that they completely misunderstand what they're looking at or
right.
completely falsified it or what have you. But the damage is done. People are running around making claims that they have found tons of inefficiencies, tons of waste, where nothing could be further from the truth.
Yeah.
All we're doing is disrupting life as we know it. And that's not always a good thing. People say, well, if people are upset, must be doing something right. No, if I come burn down your house and you're upset, well, you got a good reason to be upset. And that's what's happening here.
Yeah. The only time I cry at a circus is because of clowns, and
Yeah.
this is just it's it honestly it just feels like a constant just rampaging circus
Like,
of nothing but clowns.
did you hear, speaking of Queen Clown, you've got Nancy Mace over in District 1. Did you see where she went and just made big announcements about millions of dollars spent on transgender animals, and she transgender monkeys and transgender reptiles, and instead it was transgenic research, which is
Right.
completely different,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, and last week the big thing she did is she outed her ex fiance last week on the floor of the House about these just unbelievable, notorious charges that she's made against him and like three or four of his
Yeah.
companion. I don't know, not companions. That's not the right word, but friends.
Associates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
associates. There you go. Um, and extremely just. I don't think I've ever seen the house used in such a way. Like I because that was. I mean, I get that what she was trying to do was this idea of protecting women from SA and whatnot, but like it was just all it was her just going up there with her grievances and slamming her ex fiance, which I even asked you. I had no idea she and him weren't no longer together. I'd really like to understand why they're not together.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I have an idea.
On one of my podcast episodes, going back to November of 2023, we played a clip of Nancy Mace at the National Prayer Breakfast, where she's up at the podium talking about her bedroom antics with her fiance.
Yeah,
Like right
yeah,
at the prayer breakfast.
yeah,
She is she's unstable and unhinged. And all she accomplished on that House floor speech was actually making me kind of support Alan Wilson for a change. Like Alan Wilson is the Attorney General of South Carolina and another front runner potential for the governor of South Carolina in 2 years, and Nancy Mace's number one opponent, I would imagine. And so she went to that floor, not, I'm sure she could care less about her personal plight. It was a political speech meant to early cripple her most likely opponent.
yeah,
So now I'm in the completely awkward position of actually supporting douchebag Wilson.
yeah.
And I don't know what to do with this. It's getting me all confused.
See, and her making accusations about his ability to investigate crimes is no surprise to me. He's been not investigating crimes in South Carolina for more than a decade. So it's
It's
not
actually in
like
his
it's
job
anything new.
description.
Yeah,
All
that's
right. Number
exactly right.
one, don't investigate
No,
crimes.
number
Number two,
one.
sue everything Democrat related on the national level.
Well, number one, subsection A, own a major gun selling store across South Carolina, and then not investigate any of the gun crimes that happen to take place as a result of firearms that were purchased at his stores.
Yeah.
That's number one. So it's just look, South Carolina is a weird state. It's the most obvious things that stand out as being issues and whatnot get
Uh,
completely
the
ignored.
countdown has begun.
Yeah.
The countdown to the comments saying, "Well, why don't you leave?"
That's right.
Like that's as predictable as flies to shit. Those are the comments that are apt to
Yeah.
follow. Why don't you move out and move to one of them liberal states?
Well,
No,
because
I'm here.
I because the taxes are pretty low here in South Carolina, and I appreciate that, and I'm all for paying low in taxes, and also, if you want to bring about the most change, I think you have to start at the bottom, and South Carolina ranks pretty far to the bottom on almost everything. So there's a,
Hey,
there's a
I
lot of.
speaking of ranking, I saw a new ranking yesterday.
Oh.
Uh, they did a survey over the last 30 days by state of where grocery prices have risen the most.
Oh,
And guess where South Carolina is? We're actually among the worst in terms of rising grocery prices.
I'd believe it. I'd believe it. I in fact I so we normally order our groceries through Walmart Plus, and they get delivered. It's only $5. Like we have to pay $5 tip to have them delivered. So, but it really saves us money when it comes to not walking up and down the aisles and finding things that we go, oh, we would like to get that. We pretty much just get the essentials. So we have, for a household of five, we have the ability to keep the price of groceries pretty low. Um, but was going through, and I was stunned to see the price of eggs. 9.79 for a dozen eggs, limit 1 dozen eggs. And I honestly, we don't eat just, I mean, we may cook with eggs every now and then, but we don't eat just a whole lot of eggs. I used to, when I was really dieting, but like, yeah, I couldn't justify paying almost $10 for a dozen eggs. So this is one of the first grocery orders in months that we didn't order eggs. And it's not that we can't afford them, but it's just like, well, what are we going to do with them? It's
Yeah.
almost like we're trying to figure out, like, how important is it that we have eggs on staff. Now my father-in-law, he's got chickens, and his chickens will start bearing eggs again here soon because they normally stop during the winter. But so we'll be okay. He'll bring us eggs that we can get, but like, that's kind of where we're at this point. This is and it's not just eggs. Like, I think one of the other things I saw, like sodas. So the price of sodas has been steadily going up since COVID started, and now that we're going to start seeing I guess a more demand on less supply for aluminum, specifically aluminum that they use for soda cans and things like that, like plastics. We're going to start to see a more of a demand than we have supply on plastics for even like soda bottles. So prices are going to start to rise just to compensate for how much is available. And I when you ask Trump, every time he obfuscates. He basically obfuscates. Which was the word? What's the word? Obfuscates. Anyway, he avoids the question, or he says, like, well, we said it was going to get harder. Whatever. I'm dumbfounded at how there are still so many people out there that continue to look at this president and say, yeah, this is the guy I voted for because he's got the right plans. And
I'm dumbfounded how you like try to use big words before 6 a.m. and the coffee's kicked in. I mean, you almost had a heart attack on the word obfuscates,
look at you.
and I'm just sitting
Obfuscates.
here. I'm here all for it.
Hey, we had a really great episode that we recorded last week with the co-founders of the Neptune app, Ashley Darling and Chris Jones. She is the CEO. He is the CTO, and it was a fantastic episode. We had a lot of fun with them. Did you get to listen to it yet?
I have not.
Okay,
I am 50 podcasts behind schedule right now in my queue. So I will get there, but I have fallen very far behind.
that's okay. That's okay. You know, but no, it was really good interview. We got to learn about like how the whole idea of coming up with the Neptune app started. One of the things that um, like I guess they realized was between TikTok and Facebook and Instagram as to how the algorithm seems to work when it suppresses things that the algorithm doesn't think people want to see, and or that there are decisions being made about creators. So like if you scrolling pat if you're scrolling through your TikTok and you're seeing people that have 50 and 100 and million followers and things like that, it uses that as part of its algorithm to put those people ahead of people that potentially don't have that many followers. So you're not seeing as much in the way of content except for what is popular, and that's something that they're not going to have as part of their ghost algorithm, I guess, is that it'll be more in line with what not desires, that's a weird word, but the kind of
Obfuscate,
the kind of things you want to see.
you
Look,
know.
uh don't make me bring RFK on here. We'll
I
ask
gotta say,
RFK.
it's kind of brave, I suppose, to enter into a market that I think is already kind of saturated, and I'm
Yeah,
talking about the social media market. So even if you do have a differentiator, you are competing against a number of 500-pound gorillas in the video streaming space,
yeah,
and that have decade or more of time to have built up their followings and their user base. So it's pretty brave to do that.
yeah,
I mean, I know
absolutely.
I'm active on 8 different social media platforms, and it all began with the Elon Musk takeover of Twitter, but now 3 years ago. So I started exploring a lot of alternatives because they kept cropping up. I don't know if you remember a platform called Pebble, which was a couple of ex-Twitter executives that created a very friendly, kind of smooth look and feel, user experience. They called it Pebble. It didn't last a year, and then it was gone. Another one was Post News. I don't know if you remember that. That was a big one
No,
for a while, which allowed long form posts, and you could actually, buy tokens, and you can pay contributors tokens. You can tip people, and it was optional. You didn't have to. It was a free platform. But that I think closed down after a little over a year. The only new ones that are still around is something called Spoutable, which is a left-leaning platform, kind of the counter to Truth Social. It's something called Spoutable. So that's lasted. Mastodon, I've been on that for several years, and that seems to be growing. And then, of course, you got Threads and Blue Sky, which came out of nowhere just recently. So it's been an interesting landscape to, say, hey, I've got an idea for a social media platform. Let me jump in.
yeah.
And I'm curious to see where this goes.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down a lot to, and I'm not. I think that they will. I think that they will probably do well, just because I think that they have a good idea. And there was when the whole uh, uh, blocking, the whole stopping of TikTok, the ban got voted on, and then Biden signed into law. Um, they saw a huge popularity boost that came up.
Are
um,
you still on Lemonade, by the way?
I am, and I don't ever go to look at what's on there. That's the same as
But
like huh?
but when TikTok got banned, so did Lemonade.
It did.
That went down as well. So what's the point of staying on Lemonade at this point? I get it if it was a backup, but apparently it's not a backup.
No, I don't even know what it's for. It because I don't like it. It's not. It's not. It's definitely not smooth. I don't. I think I appreciate more just the whatever they call it, the constant scroll,
Yeah.
where because like with Lemonade and with even with like Red Note, basically you get a preview screenshot of the videos that are potentially in your feed, and you can tap on one and then you can start the endless scroll. But if you go back, then you can see the preview panel of whatever that is, and it's not your preview panel. But I don't know. I don't know that I want, if because if I have a choice, I'm probably not going to actually go and tap on the ones that I think are interesting just on the freeze pane. If it has to start moving for me, and if it doesn't, then I'm probably not going to look at it. So Lemonade and Red Note, there are a couple influencers, I guess, that are on Red Note that I do find entertaining. There's one guy.
I wondered. I never got onto Red Note during that ban, but I wondered if it was still in the American view now that TikTok is back.
No, it is, and
No kidding.
it's actually still it's pretty popular. And in fact, when I first got on a Red Note, I was mostly seeing a lot of people that call themselves the TikTok refugees. Um, but what was like, there is one per influencer, I guess, on there that I find extremely funny, and it's a Chinese gentleman who is trying to guess the words. So like when we were children, like young children, we would have those flashcards where it would say, that the ball rolled up the hill, and one of the words is missing. Let's say it's ball, but based on the picture, he's trying to guess what that word is or what the action is. And he gets it wrong, but his reaction every time he gets it wrong is, "Oh." It doesn't sound as funny as what I'm describing, but I promise it's hilarious. I'll have to send you one of the videos just to take a look at it.
Okay.
So what? So yeah. So the episode that we recorded this week was fantastic. So if you're watching this now, go check it out. It was you can go to you can go to our link tree, or you can go to our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. There's links there to go and check that out.
Did they give you
Ashley,
any early stock,
no.
options or anything of the sort?
You know what's cool is we discussed some of how the I guess the whole process of them looking for investors and things like that. And if you've ever watched Silicon Valley, the show that was on HBO for
Yeah,
several
I love
seasons,
that show.
what they described was very similar to the plot of Silicon Valley. And it was just a really interesting conversation. Of course, immediately Zach asked if they had gone through the process of determining how many Donald Trump hand movements you'd have to do in order to raise. It was pretty entertaining. It was pretty funny.
How's Zach doing with the baby watch?
Oh, we are on. We're into February now, so we're about a month and a half away from the likelihood that they are either going to induce birth, labor, or they are going to. I mean, I imagine soon they're going to get that 37 weeks, because when it comes to twins, 37 weeks is almost it.
Has there
That's the
been
point at which
a
they go.
gender reveal yet?
Yeah, a girl and a boy, having a
Oh,
girl and a boy.
wow.
I asked him if these were going to be the last, and he said, "I think so." So we'll see. The uncertainty there is something he can control. Uh,
Ivanka and Eric. That's what I propose the names are. Let's do it.
I think one of them is I think Tucker and Ellie. I think
Okay.
those are the names that they're going with.
Those are respectable names. I can't
Yeah.
mock those as much as I wish I could.
Yeah.
Those are
No.
respectable names.
Yeah. Tuck is his father's name, and Ellie. He says Ellie is from the Last of Us,
I had
the female character,
a crazy dream early this morning. My daughter's getting married at the end of May,
right?
and father of the bride, I'm financing this one-time party that very few are going to remember. And so I actually had a dream that I was at some sort of event, and the speaker gets up at the podium and says, Sears has announced that they will pay for all expenses related to the wedding. And I was like, really? I was crying, and I can't believe this, and how generous, and why Sears?
Yeah.
I woke up and went, why Sears? of everything. Like, I don't know anything else. I don't shop at there's no Sears around me.
No,
Why would I dream that they all of a sudden are paying for my daughter's wedding?
I suspect there's no Sears around anyone anymore. there,
Right,
there may be
right.
one, but it was definitely turned into a Kmart at some point. Yeah, that's
All
a
I gotta tell Zach is start saving up for that wedding now because woo-wee,
well, he's got two girls
it's
and a
expensive.
boy, so
Wow.
that's two potential weddings. And I'm in the same boat. I've got the girls are I've got twin girls, and
Oh, you're screwed.
I look at it this way. If they're real smart, they'll just they'll get into a committed relationship where they don't put a piece of paper between them, and that's the way they just
Are your
settle.
twins, I'm assuming they're identical twins?
They are not.
Okay,
They are
cool.
not identical. You can definitely tell them apart. Although people that don't see them for months and months and months will confuse them. And unfortunately, because of my rattled brain, riddled, rattled, that I will,
Obfuscated brain.
yeah, I will call them by the wrong names. Shoot, I'll call my son by my brother's name all the time,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
you
get
know,
my daughter and my sister in the same room. I can't get their names right. I cannot for the life of me. I don't know what that mental tick is, but my sister is 12 years younger than me. So, I always kind of view her as a kid, even though she's 40 now. But put her and my daughter in the room, I get their names mixed up. I don't know
yeah.
why that is. It's only those two.
Oh, well, what are you looking forward to this week?
I'm
Anything?
looking I'm looking forward to learning how to echolocate. So I read this article in Scientific American yesterday
Okay.
where they actually put people through a training program. They said if you train 2 to 3 hours a day for several weeks and you're fully sighted, you can train yourself to navigate around through echolocation by clicking your tongue and making little noises. Your brain can actually be trained to pick out objects, to determine sizes, to determine barriers.
That's
And it's the
interesting.
most fascinating thing I've ever read. So I'm like, I'm gung ho. I want to do this. I want to be like a real life daredevil and
Yeah,
and
that's
be
what
be able to do that. And apparently they've tested it out and showed that you can be trained to echolocate.
yeah, that's interesting. I think that I was going to say it sounds like you're really excited for the Daredevil Born Again episode season that's coming up. Sorry, I got to give a plug for Daredevil Born Again. Um
Looking forward to it myself.
yeah.
It looks great.
Have you are you a Marvel fan?
Huge, huge. I'm
Okay.
a huge MCU fan.
Did you see have you watched any of the Spider-Man I guess the Spider-Man cartoon that came out on Disney Plus?
Oh, your friendly neighborhood
Yeah.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I have not. It's in the queue to watch.
It's fantastic. It is.
I'm going through a rewatch of the entire MCU at the moment.
Okay.
So it's like starting back from Iron Man 1, all the way through every TV series. So I'm in the middle of Moon Knight, rewatching
Okay.
and just kind of putting it together. So once I get through the last 2 years, I'll catch up and be able to watch that.
I saw an interesting I guess it was a YouTube short, but there was an interesting video that came across my feed about Moon Knight and how Moon Knight, despite the fact that he doesn't have the character I guess the character requirements in order to yield Mjolnir, he can, regardless of the spell that's enchanted into Mjolnir about you have to be worthy to carry it. He can carry Mjolnir because apparently it's made out of moon rock, which is his god power or whatever, and so he can wield Mjolnir, which was a interesting little tidbit. So that means Thor, Jane Foster, Captain America, and now and Vision and Moon Knight can carry.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just about everybody can now. I mean, it's not even special.
Paul Rudd saved a billion people, so he gets to carry Mjolnir now too. Did you see Captain America yet? Or are you
That I
waiting on
have
that?
not.
Okay.
I was away this weekend, so I was not able to go catch it like I normally would.
I think I went ahead and I saw it. It was I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Harrison Ford I thought was a good Thaddeus Ross. and it was good. So
Yeah,
I'm
apparently
I'm not
this has
disappointed.
a big divergence between critic reviews and viewers. I
Yeah,
mean, the regular attendees are apparently liking this film, and the reviewers are trashing it. So I'm curious to see why the controversy.
I think a lot of it has to do with that some of these critics are having a really hard time dealing with the fact that Sam Wilson is now Captain America. But that happened in the comics. Like that was part of the storyline. Captain America was still around, but like, or Steve Rogers was still around, but like, we've gone through several, well, at least a few iterations of other people being Captain America. It's happened. I think that a lot of people have an issue with, they either don't like the guy that plays Sam Wilson. Uh, he comes across as pretty cocky, which is not what Steve Rogers. But I think to have the difference between the two individuals that are now have been or are Captain America, I think you have to have a difference in their attitude, how they carry themselves. Steve Rogers was this sweet, nice guy that would defend himself and his friends, and Sam Wilson is a guy that really just he wanted to move up the chain.
So I'll let you
And
know my review when I see it. I'm also looking forward to Thunderbolts. That looks like it's
I
going
do
to turn
too.
out to be really good.
I don't understand the asterisk. I don't like if you see the Thunderbolts
I,
has an
you know, they've
asterisk.
been explaining it online because apparently the trailers explain it, or so somebody's made connected the dots, and I'm trying to not see it. I
Okay.
don't want it to be spoiled. I'll figure it out when I go see the movie. What do you think about the new Superman coming out? James Gunn's Superman.
I love I'm not a huge like Marvel DCU, I'm not a huge DCU or DCEU or whatever it is. Like I've always enjoyed the Marvel comics more than the DC ones. But I'm for it. I enjoyed. I really did enjoy the Justice League, the Snyder cut. I enjoyed the Flash movie. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. I don't have any critiques of things like that, because I just go in to be entertained, and
Well, I enjoyed the trailer, and it looks like it's going to be a wild movie with like everything and the kitchen sink thrown
yeah.
in. The only thing that gave me some pause was the introduction of Crypto the Super Dog. I was like, that's the stupidest thing to include in this movie. I'm sorry. I know it's cute and I know it's fan favorite, but a super powered dog with a cape. I mean, that's just so stupid.
I think well,
I'm
when you
hoping it was like a hallucination or something, or a little bit of a fan. What do you call it? A nod to the fandom.
yeah,
What do you call it when you throw something in for the fans? The name will
I
come
know.
to me, but so I'm hoping it's not a serious character and it's more just like a quick hallucination or something, and then okay, then you move on. But if it's a true character, that cheapens the movie. I
I
just
I think the likelihood is probably I think it's probably a true character.
oh
But you don't know how much she's in there. But I don't know that if I am one of the things that I am not a fan of is superheroes that have capes. And the reason I say that is,
well, how about
well,
Doctor Strange? I mean, come on, the cape itself is a character. How do you
yeah,
not like that?
but that's the thing, is the cape is a character.
Right.
But like,
Like the cape should have a cape. Like
yeah.
that would be cool.
I think it has a name too. Now that I think about it, but no, I was gonna say, but when you watch Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, you'll see one of the reasons that I think a cape is a huge hindrance, and it's very obvious, and the fact that in so many different portrayals of whether it's Superman or Batman or Thor, like these individuals works. Vision has a cape. Vision, of course, he can change his harmonics so he can pass through things. So his cape also passes through things. But you'll see when you watch Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man
Okay.
the exact reason why I think capes are useless when it comes to
Yeah,
superheroes.
why capes? Like why didn't they pick up suspenders or garter belts or something else? Like when did capes become the superhero norm? It could
Yeah,
have been a top hat. It could have been,
that's
you know,
right.
an ascot. It could have been anything else. Well, why the cape? You know, why is it that Thor's got a cape and Vision's got a cape and Doctor
Yeah,
Strange has a cape and everybody's got a cape? It's kind of
yeah.
funny.
It's a good question. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there,
Deep thoughts. Deep
yeah,
thoughts.
and you know what? And I'm gonna say these thoughts are probably more important than what's going on in our government right now because
Uh-huh.
that you're just gonna be disappointed.
Hey, by the way, I'm gonna plug an upcoming appearance on the
I was gonna let you.
yeah, I'm gonna go on Ami's show. Did she tell you?
She did. I'm currently in the process of trying to find a location so
Oh,
that we can film that in person. And I think I have it locked. I think I have one locked down. We just have to figure out the logistics of it. But yeah, Bill Kimmler is going to be on Welcome to Wonderland
oh, I didn't
with.
mean to like cause a big snafu here.
Oh
I
no.
figured it was
No, 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 no. It's my pleasure.
okay.
You will enjoy sitting down with me and recording that. She had an episode come out this week also, which if you haven't listened to it yet, with James Maxey, who is an author, wrote a book about the apocalypse or the or different the several dooms of the apocalypse, and it was a good interest. It was a very interesting episode, and if you follow her on Facebook and social media, I think she has a contest out there for you to submit your I guess submit entries in order to potentially win a signed book because he is going to be at the Coastal Comic Con in Wilmington with us, and she's going to get one of his books signed so that she can send that to one of her listeners. So it's
Well, I
going to
hope you
be.
don't mind me copying you. It was really after hearing your episode on her show that, I kind of really got what her show's about.
I don't
And
consider anything anyone does that is similar to what I've done as copying. I
okay.
just don't have that ego. I say this all the time. I am the most humble person on the planet, and no one else can take that title.
Well, good. I hope you'll enjoy our next episode of the All About Something podcast. Uh, that's coming out next week with my partner Garrett Gruber, and
and flack sting.
yeah, yeah, it'll be a really good episode, I think.
That'll be fantastic. I look forward to it. All right, that's gonna well on that bombshell. I'm gonna end this. That Bill Kimmler at Political Bill SC across all of social media. You can also definitely check out the his podcast Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks. Also, Bill Big Media is now an LLC. So,
No way.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Where did
So
you LLC in Delaware? Did you go to Delaware? Or did you do it through South
did
Carolina?
it right here in South Carolina.
Okay.
So
My God.
we are officially I am officially able to write off some of the expenses of what we do here. So I'll
Yeah,
take
and I
advantage of that.
also expect, with the impending lawsuits we're about to receive,
Yeah,
that this will be needed
yeah,
for personal protection.
yeah, 100%. I don't want to go to prison. I feel like it's a possibility. But again, follow Bill, Political Bill SC, and the podcast is Black, White, and Blue in the South. I am Barrett Gruber. You can follow across all of social media at Barrett Gruber, and the podcast is the All About Nothing podcast. So we will be back Thursday morning. So check us out, and you all have a great day. I guess I'll just say, be kind, stay safe, and keep your hands to yourself. Excellent. Yeah. I